Hello, class. This is a special edition of Dr. He's lecture. Given the situation that you will be having next Monday off from lecturing, as it's the Thanksgiving holiday for Crossover Canada, so I'm recording this to help you to understand better about the most important part of your course of this term. This works for both Accounting 621 and for Finance 623. From my experience in teaching those two classes, I found out that students often have difficult and also sometimes confusions with regarding to the ways we go about of carrying those tasks out while doing all those financial statement analysis. And I'm using this demonstration to help you understand it better so that you can follow suit the steps as I showed here. However, keep in mind, this is a way of demonstration, so you should not take this as exactly what you should go through. More should be considered as a reference so that you can know the content rather than form. So it's more of what would be meaningful in the process of financial analysis. Okay, with that, I would just take you through the steps. I'm going to sharing the screen with you, which is basically your course shell, and you should all be very familiar with this course shell. This is for Finance 623, and this is for 621. Under your course shell, now you all should be very well knowledgeable about how you can explore different areas on your course shell. And there's one very important sector under it, which is the content and the Dr. He's course material. And you are reminded repeatedly that there will be new material uploaded here. And if you have checked the content under this section, you would have seen things like here. You can find Tesla 2023 10K. 10K for a public company is the annual report. Okay, so if you go through there, you will see the annual report of Tesla for 2023. So I will actually go over the process of how you get those information and then how we can carry out a financial statement analysis. Okay, so firstly, what we need to do is to make sure that the financial information we got is authentic, which means they are reliable, they're up to date, and there's no confusions about it. All right, so let's go to Google and you can search Tesla, which will take you to some of the places, and make sure you do read the URL, the address. Okay, there are many fake website out there nowadays, so make sure you are not getting to all those fake web address. Okay, so tesla.com, this is authentic. So once we get to there, it will take us to the home page of Tesla, and we need to find out the financials from this website. And where can we get those information? Normally, you can find out by checking out those different sections under its website. Sometimes it's above here. Sometimes you have to scroll down to the very bottom. You will find some of those information. So for Tesla, we should be able to find, let's check them out. Vehicles, energy, charging, Discover. Yeah, Discover, we can find some, company, right? So this is where we should go. And underneath it, you will find investor relations, right? So keep that in mind. The financial statements is always under investor relations for all the publicly traded company. Okay, so let's click there. And under here, you will find out. So there's many. So 2024, they have 3 quarters already, and this is their quarterly report, and we need annual report, okay? So here is an annual report, 10K. So you can just download it right away, right? So this is how you get to the original authenticated annual report of a public company. And I have done that, and I already put that here for you, so you should be able to just read it. But then I want you to go through the same process for the new company. Okay, when I use the new company as a target company for your study, for your individual assignment and the group assignment. Okay, so make sure you go through the same process, and also take a few screenshots. Right, take a few screenshots to prove that you actually did that. Okay, and with the screenshot, you should also keep those timestamp. Like if I take a screenshot here right now, it will show me the time here on the bottom right corner, which is 6:26 p.m. today, which is Friday, right? It will show you which is October the 11th, this Friday, right? So make sure you have all those timestamps on your screenshot, and this is required as part of your report to approve the authentication of your source data, right? And that's very important for research. So make sure you do follow that procedure. And once we have that, since we already have all that, you can use the application tools to convert, because most of those things are in PDF file. So it's the same thing for this one. I've already downloaded it, so this is a PDF. And for you, you should do the same. Don't open the file directly from your portal, okay? Sometimes it will, miss alignment and it's not readable. So make sure you do download the file first and then open it from whichever application it applies to that file. So for this one, it's a PDF. So when I open it on the PDF, this is what I get, right? So this is a 10K annual report for Tesla for the year 2023, right? So next step is for us to go directly to its financial statements. Financial statements for publicly traded company in the US is always item number 8. So if you go to item number 8, it will take you directly to those financial statements. And then we can use our tools to convert those into Excel file, because we do need to work on Excel file to do further calculation. Horizontal, vertical, and ratio analysis, all those calculations has to be done under. So we need to convert those things into Excel file. You can actually find a free a website which is called I Love PDF. If you don't have the original Adobe Reader, which can help you convert, you can go to I Love PDF to do that conversion there. And it will convert your PDF file into Excel, so you can work on it. All right. So this is what I did. If you look at here, Tesla financial statements, horizontal, vertical calculation ranking in Excel spreadsheet. That's how I did it. And I have the file also downloaded here, so I can open it right up from there. So with that, you have the original is actually showed up here. So the cash flow statement, the statement redeemable on control, this is not important. And we have the statement of operations. I can explain to you, this is just another way of saying this is income statement. And we see the revenue, the cost, and we know this is income statement, right? And then further up is the balance sheet, right? So we have the balance sheet and everything, balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement, okay? All three of them. And those three are the most important one, and those three are the ones that we are required to do our financial analysis. So once we have that, The next step is actually not just work directly from here because it's a bit mess and you need to tidy it up a little bit. And I did was I took each statement out in a separate spreadsheet. Okay, so for instance, for income statement, I just copied this area over because we only need to compare 2-year stuff, right? So we copy the income statement for 2023 and 2022. If you look at here, the income statement is a statement of operation result, right? We see it somewhere here. Yeah, revenue. Okay, so they have 2003, 2002, which is actually these two columns, because when you look at here, some of the items may shifted, so it's out of alignment. But you should have the ability to properly align them back, right? So you get all those two columns, which is 23 and 22, and copy it over here, and make sure actually they're copied over properly. So once you put all those numbers in there, with all those subtotals and sometimes, subtract those stuff, you do the calculation instead of just copy over the numbers, okay? Once you do the calculation here, you use the functions in Excel to get all those numbers, and then you do the comparison with the original numbers to make sure you get them correctly, right? So verify the accuracy of your numbers is also very important to make sure you do that every time, okay? So now we get those two things here, right? So next step is to carry out a calculation for horizontal comparison as well as vertical comparison. We can get them all done in one spreadsheet, just like what you see here, okay? I'll make bigger for you to see, but if you cannot see it, don't worry about it, because this file is under your course here, so you can always just open it up and read it thoroughly, all right? Okay, so here we go. This first portion is the horizontal calculation. So firstly, what you do is you do a comparison in terms of dollar amount. Okay, so the dollar amount comparison, you use their number from 2023 minus the number from 2022, you get the difference, right? So this difference is the horizontal difference, right? So you get the same difference for each item. So it has to be done for the whole statement. You cannot just pick and choose. I'll explain why, okay? So once you have done that, you do a ranking. What does that mean? The ranking meaning which number have changed or which item have changed the most, right? So compare the dollar amount, then you know which number changed the most. Since you have all those done, then it's easy for you to figure out the biggest number here is actually 15. This is billion, I believe. 15 billion or million? Yeah, because the million is supposed to be ending here. So this is billion, I believe. To confirm that, we can go back to their statement, right? Their statement is all in millions. And in millions. So we know the unit of the numbers is in millions. So this is 15 billion, right? So this is the biggest number of the difference. Oh, this one's the biggest number, 18 billion, right? However, if you look further, this 18 billion is the total cost of revenue, which means it's a summary of all those different cost items. So it's also very important when we do our financial analysis, do not consider the subtotals because we are looking into each individual items instead of those subtotal items. All right. So those subtotals we actually do not consider in our ranking. Okay, even though we do calculate the difference, however, we do not consider the ranking. That's what those star signs are all about. Okay, if you look at this star, this is total automotive revenue. It's also a subtotal. So when it's a subtotal, we don't consider. When it's subtotal, we don't consider, right? So out of the rest, those are all individual items. Then we do compare and do the rank. And then the highest number is this one, automotive sales, on our statement. Okay, so this one is a number one. And what's next? So next one is automotive sales in revenue. This is automotive sales in cost. So we can see the cost of automotive sales actually have increased very significantly, over 15 billion, while the revenue only increased 11 billion. So this is second largest item. And then we do the same thing for the rest. So the number three item is provision for income tax, which is 6 billion. And that's the third largest number. Now here you will notice this is negative number. So when we compare and ranking all those differences, we do not consider positive or negative. Just take the absolute dollar amount as the target, right? So this is third, and then we get the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh. We just rank them, by the amount, right? So we get the whole statement down. So ranked from number one item all the way to number 16, I guess, 16. So there's total 16 items, which is not a total or a subtotal. That's how we do it with horizontal comparison in terms of the dollar amount. Now, the second part of the horizontal calculation is the percentage. Okay, I will explain why, because if we only have the dollar amount, sometimes when the dollar amount changes significantly in terms of percentage, it doesn't. So it's not always the same. So we need to do both. And you can see from here, when we do a percentage comparison, like this percentage, you just use the difference divided by the number from 2022. Okay, so that's the base year. We're comparing everything in 2023 to the base year, which is 2022. Okay, so in terms of the percentage, the automotive sales revenue increased by 16.8%. Right, and we do the same thing for all the items here. And then we do the same ranking again, ignore all those subtotal or total, right? So in terms of percentage, actually the number one item becomes another one, which is a provision for income tax, which is a negative, which is reduced by more than 500%, more than 5 times, right? If you look at the number, back in 2022, Tesla paid over $1 billion in tax. Well, in 2023, actually, the government now owes Tesla more than $5 billion in income tax, right? So this is a big difference. So we do the same ranking. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to number 16. Okay, so this is a ranking. So since we have two different ranking from the dollar change versus the percentage change, now we have to consider them both. We combine those two factors for a final ranking in terms of horizontal comparison, which one items is the most important or most significant ones. How do you combine? The easy way is to just add those rank numbers together. Right? You add them together, you get subtotal of the ranks from different angle. And once you have those ranks, you re-rank them because it's add together. So now you have to compare those things, and you start from the smallest number, right? Whenever the number is small, meaning they are very high priority in both of those two columns we did before, right? For instance, here, number 4 is the smallest number when we combine those two lines. Now here we put them as a number one item, which is a provision for income tax. Okay, and then we do the same thing for the rest, and we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice here I do not go all the way till 16 because some of them may become less important for us now, because in financial analysis your focus should be on the top priorities, and you don't get too much things into consideration, otherwise you'll lose focus, right? So to cope with that, here I stopped at number 12. For our purpose, that's good enough, right? And this is for horizontal calculation and ranking. And this is process you have to follow precisely, meaning you cannot skip any of this process, right? Make sure you follow this precisely, and that will ensure you don't miss anything, right? Okay, and then we do similar things for vertical calculation, because vertical calculation, it is a percentage already. So there's only one line. So we just compare the vertical number. So the vertical number is we use this or each item as a percentage of the base item, which is the revenue in terms of income statement. We use revenue as a base, compare all the other elements of it as a percentage of the revenue, right? So for 2023, the revenue, we use this automotive sales divided by total revenue, get its percentage, right? So this is in the year 2023, how much percentage the automotive sales revenue as part of the total revenue, right? So it's 81.1%. And the same thing for 2022 was 82%, 82.5%. And we do the same thing for all the items here. And then we calculate the difference, okay? The difference meaning the change. So the percentage have changed. For instance, for automotive sales, it was 82.5% in 2022 and reduced to 81.1. So a reduction of 1.4% is recorded, right? So we have the difference, then we rank them. The number that changes the biggest is number one item we should pay attention. And coincidentally, for vertical analysis, it's the same thing. It is the provision for income tax which have changed most significantly. Okay, so now with this chart, we've completed our calculation and ranking, right, for initial financial statement analysis for this income statement. And we need to summarize our findings, right? So here is, again, a demonstration about the findings we can get from Tesla's financials, right? So the number one item, the first item we got from both horizontal and vertical analysis is the first item. So tax benefit, this is tax benefit because the government owes Tesla $5 billion in tax, right? So this is a tax benefit. And it has made the most significant contribution to the bottom line. The bottom line is net income of over $14 billion for 2023, which is a big increase versus the previous year, right? So from both horizontal and vertical analysis, we see that result, right? So tax benefit, that is something we need to look into it. What happened? Why Tesla got that much amount, that big amount, $5 billion as a tax benefit, right? Now, the second one is, let's look at number two. This is number two here for horizontal calculation, which is energy generation storage revenue, okay? So this part of revenue have increased significantly, right? And sales from energy generation storage had grown significantly. And also from service and other, which is third one, right? Services and other is the third one. And noticeably, the respective shares in the total sales had also increased, okay? So these have increased by 4.8, these have increased by 7.5. That's a percentage, right? The shares of automotive sales actually dropped, okay? Look at here, this has dropped, right? So that's a basic first impression we got from our initial analysis or initial calculation. This is not even analysis yet. We just follow those order of priority to go through with our findings, right? Then third one is the cost, right? Cost items, and then interest income, and so on. Okay, so this is just a demonstration to show you how to carry this out. And this is for income statement, and then you do similar things for balance sheet, right? This is a balance sheet. You compare the horizontal calculation, do the calculation, compare, and rank right? And then vertical, the same thing, and get your findings summarized here. And your analysis should follow the same order. So whatever you considered the most significant item, that the item has changed most significantly, that's the most significant item, then you should put that as your top priority in terms of your financial analysis. Okay, and this is how you carry it out with both income statement, balance sheet, as well as cash flow statement. For cash flow statement, it's a little bit different, because cash flow statement is a statement recording the cash in and out of different activities. We have 3 different activities, right? So for that, we have cash flow statement separated into 3 different parts, right? And we compare them both horizontally and vertically, and we rank them all together. Okay, even though the calculation was done separately. Notice here the percentage of those things, and also the dollar amount, they are done by different sector. So operating activities, investing activities, financing activities. Okay. However, we rank them all together. Then we find out which ones are the most significant item that's contributed to changes of cash flow, right? And we have a little summary here. Okay. So those are the things for you to keep in mind. Once again, this is for demonstration purpose only. So I do not want you guys to follow everything and to copy everything I did here for your assignment. Okay. And also for your individual assignment, I want you guys to work on the company that is Canadian owned. Like I mentioned it a couple of times, it's our coffee maker, Tim Hortons. Okay, so you need to go to Tim Hortons and get their financials and work on it as your individual assignment. And if you have any problems, let me know. And I want you to follow the similar process as I did for Tesla. You need to go to Tim Hortons' website and find out where you can find investor relations, and through there you will find the financials, and then go through the financial report, the annual report, and then cut the financial statements part out of the annual report and convert it into Excel file so you can work on it. Then you carry out the similar process as I just demonstrated here for you to get to the initial findings of your financial analysis. Okay, so this is a short explanation about what you should do as the first steps when you carry out any financial statement analysis. And hope you can learn from this and practice on as many companies as you'd like to as possible. Okay, once again, knowledge is one thing, it's not even half of the job. And you have to practice and you have to train yourselves to develop that kind of instinct, so that whenever you carry out financial statements over any company, you know what's the right way, you know what should be considered, you know how to prioritize, you know how to get the meaning out of your report. Okay, that's all very important. All right, that's all for today, and I hope you will be enjoying the time when you get a little bit of break, and also at the same time make sure you do stay in good shape, both physically and mentally, because we have more work coming our way. For accounting students, you will be having your first quiz on week 4. And for finance students, your midterm is also coming very soon, week 6. So keep up with all the good work. And I will see you online on Wednesday. And I will see you on campus on Monday at week 4. All right. Happy studying.